Hi, welcome to ACP ThinManager Sales 101. This is a presentation and a quick video overview for sales personnel who will be selling our ThinManager flagship product. Today we're going to discuss just a few topics such as the market, ThinManager network components and architecture, brief lesson on licensing, why ThinManager is important, sales cues, phrases, and questions that you might hear out in the field to cue you in on a customer who may want or need ThinManager, and lastly, some contacts here at ACP in case you have questions going forward. So let's take a quick look at market analysis. If you look at the pie chart, you'll see that ACP carries a large portion in food and beverage, pharmaceutical, oil and gas, and integration. But there are many other vertical markets in which ACP ThinManager currently has a presence, and almost every single one of these use ThinManager for their daily operation. We also believe there's great potential for growth for ACP ThinManager within the discrete manufacturing markets. As you can see from the logos on the next two slides, the companies that use ACP ThinManager are recognized worldwide for their products and services. Several of these companies are Fortune 500 companies, and almost every single company will use ACP ThinManager as part of their daily operations in order to make their plants more efficient. So let's talk about what ThinManager does for all of ACP's customers. ThinManager is a centralized computer management platform that lowers the total cost of ownership. We reduce the maintenance and the downtime that companies have to put into managing their PCs and thin client devices. And our software allows you to easily configure and manage all of the connected clients from one central source. ThinManager makes sure that you can deploy all of the applications or desktops or other resources to the people who need them, where they want them, when they need them. So let's take a look at the kind of devices that ThinManager does help you manage. If you look at this drawing, you can see that we manage everything from servers all the way down to mobile devices. ThinManager manages thin clients, industrial and office grade. We manage IP cameras. We manage virtual machines. We help manage terminal servers. And we also manage tablets and mobile phone devices. You can also use ThinManager in a mobile interface through mobile devices in order to have remote management of the tool within your facility. Moving on to ThinManager network components. All ThinManager configurations and setups pull their resources from the Thin server. However, the Thin server is managed from the ThinManager interface, which can run from any PC within your environment. ThinManager uses display servers such as IP cameras, PCs, terminal servers, or other thin clients to create what we call display clients. These display client sources are managed through the ThinManager interface and then deployed to end users who may have thin clients, PCs, or tablets out on the factory floor. By taking a quick look at the ACP ThinManager umbrella graphic, you can see everything that needs to be managed all the way from the server to the client side. Looking at this slide, you can see that platforms that are considered competition for ACP ThinManager only focus on managing server-side components. ACP ThinManager expands that focus, as can be seen in this slide, to include in-device client management. ThinManager is licensed by the size of the client population. All ThinManager licenses are installed on the Thin server. ThinManager itself is not licensed, but is strictly the user interface which manages the license and the resources to be deployed out to the floor. There are two different kinds of basic ThinManager licenses, standard and enterprise. Standard licenses are sold in 5, 10, and 25 packs, and enterprise licenses are sold in site and server configurations. We also offer redundancy with our licensing models, and we offer everything from full redundancy to no redundancy. No redundancy is self-explanatory as a single standalone ThinManager system. Full redundancy allows for a ThinManager system to fail over in case of an emergency, and the licensing stays in place and all of your ThinManager resources continue to operate. Mirrored redundancy allows for the same as full redundancy, except that the ThinManager interface is not available during the failover process. Once the original Thin server is brought back online, the ThinManager interface returns to full use. As you can see from the list, one of the most powerful aspects of ACP ThinManager's platform is its ability to boot and manage a wide variety of thin clients from a long list of manufacturers. ACP ThinManager supports, boots, and manages many industrial thin clients as well as office-grade thin clients from the manufacturers listed on this list. ACP is also able to manage mobile devices using iTMC on Apple mobile devices and using what we call Android TMC on Android devices, essentially allowing you to turn a mobile device into a thin client that can be managed and deployed just as any other thin client within an ACP ThinManager environment. So why is ACP ThinManager important? We believe that time is money. ThinManager can save you time and money by allowing you to deploy and change clients out in your environment very easily and quickly. Easily replacing a failed device only takes minutes with the ACP ThinManager system versus the possibility of it taking hours to replace a failed PC in your environment. We offer increased security by allowing you to authenticate your users to the devices. We also have features such as automatically disabled USB ports on all ThinManager ready thin clients upon installation. You can manage the system with one easy to use centralized interface that is also available in a mobile format. We offer higher reliability in our system as a whole by providing redundancy, instant failover, and state-of-the-art thin client hardware. We also offer a wide variety of client versatility and boot thin clients that are industrial grade, office grade, by allowing you to manage PCs as well as thin clients, and you can manage tablets and smartphone devices and treat them as thin clients in your environment as well, all through ThinManager. ThinManager can also save you time and money by reducing the time to recovery when something does go wrong on the plant floor. Using thin client hardware versus PCs allows you to also reduce your energy and cooling costs, as a typical thin client uses about 1/10 of the energy of a standard PC. ThinManager is designed to run industrial-grade applications in industrial environments. We increase your productivity by allowing a small staff to manage a larger configuration. The complexity of a large network is made simple with the ease of use from ACP ThinManager. Now that you know the basics of how ThinManager operates, let's talk briefly about things to look for when you're out in the field talking to customers to understand that they may need a ThinManager solution within their environment. Some things to look out for: a large PC stalling base, HMIs that are mission critical, high PC failure rate, a harsh environment full of dust, heavy vibration, high heat. Anyone trying to get HMI onto a mobile unit could benefit from ThinManager. We specialize in control rooms, and security is in place out of the box. Clean room environments, downtime issues, expanding and controlling terminal services and terminal server environments or remote desktop environments and making them easier to manage, all are the cues to look for when talking to someone about the possibility of ACP ThinManager. Certain phrases that may come about that you may hear out in the field: IT put a patch on my PCs and it took us down. It takes me forever to replace a PC. I hate those PCs. I need to stay on XP. What can I do? IT is trying to take over my PC. I need a solution IT can support and approve. These are the cues to look for out in the field when it may be a possibility that your customer needs ACP ThinManager as their solution. In addition to the cues and phrases that you'll be listening for as you interact with your customer to determine if they need a ThinManager solution, here are a few questions you might want to consider asking in order to draw answers out of them that might lead you to a more proper conclusion of their true needs. For instance, do you need to run incompatible applications on the same workstation? Using ACP ThinManager, it's very easy to use multi-session feature to allow even two different HMIs to run through a single workstation. Another good question to ask is a loss of a server or a loss of an HMI cause for downtime? Because of ACP ThinManager's ability to quickly replace or reboot a thin client workstation, downtime is kept to a minimum. Unlike a PC workstation that might go down and could take hours to replace, replacing an ACP thin client unit only takes a few minutes. ACP ThinManager also has a robust server-side technology that includes redundancy and failover, including the option for instant failover to make sure that the server environment is as robust and easy to maintain and keep online as the clients that they serve. Another good question to ask is, how many PCs do you have on the plant floor? The time that it takes to manage the weekly patches, keep the OS updated, and just run general malware protections and other forms of repair and diagnostics on PCs can take hours and even weeks of time out of a production manager's year. By using ACP Thin clients and ThinManager, you can reduce that time to a bare minimum, simply by replacing the PCs with the Thin client system. Thin clients have no operating system locally that requires maintenance. Therefore, they are always up to date and have no issues with viruses or malware, as there is no local storage on those devices. Another good question to ask is, would an administrator prefer to have a single keyboard and mouse to run across multiple monitors in their control room setting? Using ACP ThinManager's multi-monitor feature and the single keyboard and mouse feature, you can turn your control room into a very easy to administer, highly visual environment using minimal hardware versus using PCs for different visualization techniques. Chances are, after you've posed one or several of these questions to potential customers, you may find the need to reach out and get more information from an ACP representative. The following list is a list of the regional sales managers and international sales managers and other contacts within ACP that can help you with any request you may have. To access the most recent list and current list of ACP employees who can help you and assist you in selling the ThinManager product, go to thinmanager.com. In the top right tab, select Company, and from the drop-down, select Company Directory.